I couldn't even hold her, which was the opposite of what the other babies. I was like, nobody else can hold her. But I was like, I can't even look at her. For like a good 2 weeks, I would say it was really bad. And Dave was like, would hold her and I would just, and the boys would be sitting at the table while he was making dinner, while he had her in the Bjorn. And I would just look at him from the couch, like sweating, like a freak, like a freaking out and going, I don't know how you're doing that right now.
You're listening to the MILF Podcast. This is the show where we talk about motherhood and sexuality with amazing women with fascinating stories to share on the joys of being a MILF. Now here's your host, the MILFiest MILF I know, Jennifer Tracy.
Hey guys, thanks so much for tuning in. This is MILF Podcast, Moms I'd Like to Follow, the show where we talk about motherhood, entrepreneurship, raising those rascally little kids. I refrained from using the SH word because sometimes they are, and everything in between. And today on the show, I'm so excited. We have Marni Finkel, also known as Marni Wilkens. It's her maiden name, and her jewelry studio, her beautiful, beautiful jewelry designs are Wilkens Studio. Marni Wilkens is her maiden name. So Wilkens Studio, and we'll have all of the links to that on the website, milfpodcast.com. I just get so excited sometimes that my mouth doesn't move as fast as my brain does, which I'm just going to lean into as an ego thing and say, I'm really smart, you guys. I'm just like really smart or something. Really enjoyed my conversation with Marni. Marni is funny. Marni is really funny and very smart and very humble. She is the mother of 3 amazing kids, and she has incredible hair, although she denies it. But I'm just going to let you guys know, like her hair is, it's just like Disney princess hair meets Pantene hair or L'Oreal, don't hate me because I'm beautiful. Anyway, I'm really into her hair. Really having so much fun doing the show, you guys. Please, if you like the show, like us, subscribe us, review us, follow us on Instagram, Facebook. I'm cooking up some really exciting things and opportunities for my listeners with my team. I don't know what that is yet, but stay tuned and that will be revealed shortly, hopefully next week. I'm really grateful for you guys, and I hope you're enjoying the ride as much as I am. I don't actually eat ham. I think ham is just bizarre and tastes weird. Although I do like bacon, but I have this obsession. It's a mild obsession. Do you guys know what mini piglets are? Well, go look them up and say goodbye to 20 minutes because it's a real thing. And I think I need to have them as pets. Although I don't know how to rescue them. I'm a big advocate of rescuing dogs. I have dogs. You would think I'm drunk. I'm not. I've actually haven't had a sip of alcohol in almost 20 years. It's just because I get so excited recording these because I just love doing this that I get a little tongue-tied. I am a big advocate of rescuing animals. I have currently two rescue dogs. Previous to that, I had another rescue dog, and previous to that, I had another rescue dog. So big, big advocate of rescuing animals. If you are considering a pet, please consider going to your local shelter or rescue group first because there are so many incredible dogs that need homes. And all of the rescue dogs that I've had, by the way, it's like they know because the gratitude I feel from them. Not that, if you got a puppy from a breeder that they'd be like, whatever. Dogs are all amazing. I'm just saying it's pretty cool to give a dog that might have been euthanized or that was, on the streets a loving home. But I don't know, and you guys can help me out, let me know, if there are miniature piglet rescues. Probably not because it's a very niche consumer. I'm going to be, instead of a crazy cat lady, I'm allergic to cats. Otherwise, I would have cats, but I'm allergic to cats. Instead of a crazy cat lady, I'm going to be the crazy piglet lady. My neighbor's going to be like, oh my God, yeah, Jennifer Tracy, she's that crazy piglet lady. She's got 20 piglets in that house. It's got to be against the law. Anyway, please enjoy my interview with Marni Finkel. Thanks for listening, guys. Hi, Marni.
Hi.
Thanks so much for being on the show.
Thanks for thinking of me.
Of course. Oh my gosh. So I just have to start with, Marni was the first mom ever at the elementary school where my son used to go. He's changing schools this year.
It's very sad, but go on.
Thank you. Yeah, we're going to miss you guys. But you were the first mom to talk to me and be nice to me.
I was?
She's looking at me with such shock. Yeah.
I didn't know this.
You were. Yeah. And I've never forgotten it. You were just so kind and like made me feel welcome.
Oh, wow.
And Marni was the first mom to be so kind to me. And I remember, and I will never forget this because every time I see you, I think of it. Marni has perfect Pantene hair.
Oh, shut up. That's crazy.
No, it's not. It's really not.
I think it's just an illusion because it's very long.
Nope.
Because I
Not
do
buying
not
it.
do a thing.
No, it's just genetics. Because some
I'll take
people,
it.
myself included, I cannot grow my hair past really shoulder length without it just getting ratty, and I just can't have long hair and have it be beautiful and thick. And
see, I think mine is rowdy. It's like maybe twice a week I wash it. I literally wake up and I woke up like this every day.
Oh God.
But that's why I'm like,
you're so
that's crazy.
well, it's beautiful hair.
Thank you.
So you were kind and you had beautiful hair and you had 3 children. And I'm always in awe of people that have 3 children. I'm in awe of people that have 2 children or any children, actually. Let's start there. But I have 1 and you have 3. And just the fact that you can like keep track of them is kind of amazing to me.
It's harder all the time. I have to say it was much easier when they were littler. You know, and everyone tells you, oh, this is the easy time. We just wait. And I take all that in. I don't, roll my eyes when people give me advice about anything, especially with kids. Like, even though I have 3, it's the same feelings you have when you have 1, I think. It's
right.
You're still overwhelmed.
Because you're just in it.
Yeah, you're just in it.
You're in it whether you're, yeah.
Yeah, like I don't think just because there's 3 that it's any different for me than anyone else, But
it is.
Okay, it is. It is in a lot of other ways.
Yeah.
But we all have the same, all have very similar what we're going through. Yeah. The worries, I don't know.
I want to jump back to life pre-children, pre-husband, pre-children. Who were you?
I was very different before kids. I was never the person who thought I'd have kids. I was not into babies. People would have babies and be like, oh, you want to hold it? I'm like, not really. No, I don't. Why would you want me to hold it? First of all, it's cute, but I do not know babies at all. And I never thought really that I would have babies. Although people tell me, oh yeah, you used to say you would have 3 or 4 kids. I'm like, I did? Like, I'm shocked.
Interesting.
Because I don't remember that at all. But once we got married, you want to talk about before, so.
That's okay. We can jump around.
Okay. So I was like a East Village, tough, always took care of myself, sarcastic, self-deprecating, suffered no fools, sort of that type of chick.
Yeah.
And then I met Dave, who is not that. I mean, he wanted that. Like he was attracted to that, but he's not that guy. And it really was a struggle at first for us, I think. We got married, we dated for a year, got engaged, got married a year later. And for me, I've always had long-term relationships, but they ended. And you would be like, okay, I'm done here. We're all moving on and it's fine. And then I was like, okay, wait, I missed that part where now I'm married and I can't just be like, I'm done here. Yeah. But I still sort of had, those first 6 years were tough. We kind of got all our shit out in the first 6 years.
That's great.
It was like Taming of the Shrew. It was like,
give me an example. Like what?
He's just comes from a great family, very loving, very nurturing, the best husband, father you could possibly imagine. I mean, and not like self-deprecating, not like, he's very kind. He's hilarious. He's a comedian, comedy writer. It's a different type of humor. Like, he really showed me how to have a real relationship. I feel like I had friends and I had boyfriends, but I didn't really know how to have an adult, responsible, caring relationship where you have to grow up. And in those first 6 years, it was always me thinking, you just don't get me. We're not supposed to be together. You're just immature. You don't get it. And then I come to realize, oh no, it was me. Like, I needed to grow up. Like I was an asshole, and why did you stay with me? And thank God you did, So those first 5 or 6 years, it was really like, I still am like, thank God we got past that and I didn't blow it and you didn't leave because I was a bitch,
So was it fighting? Was it a lot of fighting?
It was a lot of misunderstanding each other. A lot of me being bratty and being harsh and sarcastic and him going, why? What are you so angry about? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know.
Did you, or have you yet figured out what you were angry about or what it was?
Oh, I know.
Like family, your family stuff? Yeah.
Yeah, I come from a very different upbringing than he does. So it was just, that's who I became. I mean, I don't know. And it was also, I think, maybe a New York sensibility as opposed to like in LA. I don't know. He's from here. Yeah. And he's an only child, lovely family. They're so amazing. And I'm from New York, New Jersey, 3 kids. We weren't like poor or anything. We had money, but rough upbringing, I suppose. Not the most.
You had to become the scrappy chick you described.
Yeah. I was very independent from early on. Not very, forthcoming to my family. We sort of separate. I mean, I'm close with them, but they don't, it's not like they're part of like a huge part of my taking care of myself. I have always done that.
Right. Right. So it probably felt unfamiliar to have a man who loved you, who wanted to take care of me.
You. That was hard. Yeah, that was hard. Yeah. And still, I still am like, now it's okay, but I still don't ask for it when I should. But it took many years for me to not take offense at that. Isn't that crazy? Like I would be like, why do you think I need help? It would like, I was offended that he would be like, or his family even would overstep in. Like, what can we do? Can we do this? I'm like, no, I can do it myself. What are you talking about?
Now, how was that when you had the first kid?
Okay. So that's when the payoff sort of happened for me.
Yes.
So, we didn't have kids right away. It was a few, maybe 5, 6 years. And then I was thinking about this last night. I don't even remember like the moment where we were like, okay, and now we have kids. Yeah, I don't even remember when that happened or why we thought we want babies, but we started to try. And, I was a little older. I was in my mid-30s and it didn't happen right away. So we did all those things that people do, like that crazy acupuncturists and then Clomid, which was a nightmare. And then IVF, like we went down the road. So we got pregnant with Roscoe after 2 rounds of IVF. And it was very, I knew people who went through this. I'd heard horrible stories about people who just did it for years and it never worked. I was like, we're fine. We're not going to be those people. Like we're lucky that, we're able to do this and it'll work out. Like we never felt like we were going through a horrible thing because we couldn't get pregnant. It was just like, we'll get pregnant and we're all healthy here. It's just taking us a little more than most people. So we got pregnant with Roscoe. And I remember I went to therapy because of the hormones and everything. You kind of go a little nuts.
Yeah.
And like you have all these like feelings and thoughts and crying a lot. And you're like, wait, what am I doing? Is this, you doubt?
I'm sure. Yeah.
So I went to this therapist just for a little while. And I was mentioning all this stuff and how we're so different and what am I going to do? And now I'm in it. I'm having a baby and we're going to stay together, I guess. Right. Yeah. And she's like, well, you're just going to, you got to be prepared that your kids or kid, whatever you wind up with, like are going to have both of your personalities in there. So you're going to have to deal with that. And that really scared me when she said that because it never occurred to me. But it's actually been the best thing in the world because all those things that Roscoe is, that's my oldest, he is the kindest, sweetest.
He really is. He's an exceptional human being. Aww.
And so even the little quirky things that, bug you that the husband does or the spouse, I have come to love because it's really made me love Dave and his family, especially like, that is what my kids need and want and deserve is that,
I'm crying right now.
Oh, you are not. But it really, that was like.
Wow, that's so sweet.
It really made me realize like those things about him are amazing. And I'm so happy my kids have that. And I now am like so much, I'm getting chills. I'm so much more like tolerable of all those things that I thought in my immaturity when we were first married were an issue with Dave. It's actually not. It's the best thing ever, you know?
Yes.
So yeah, so then we just kept having them.
You did. You did. Well, I mean, when you hit the jackpot, how could you not try again?
Yeah. I mean, and they're all very different. Roscoe is like an anomaly. Like he is like so easy, always has been the sweetest, nice. I mean, he has his, challenges.
He's human, yeah.
Yeah. But as far as personality and kid goes, he's always been that easy kid, like that really nice, empathetic. I don't know. That is Dave, 100%. He was that kid,
Yeah. So I want to cut back to the old Marni not wanting to accept help.
Okay.
And then Marni as a new mom.
Okay. Still not wanting to.
Did you still not want to accept help? Okay.
Still.
So what did that look like?
Okay. So we had Roscoe, and I always worked. Like I said, I've had a job since I was 14. Like always supported myself. And I just assumed, I'll just go back to work.
You were in the industry, in the Hollywood industry.
Yeah.
Casting or something.
Casting,
right.
Yeah. I started in locations in New York on sets. And then when I moved here, I got into casting. So I was doing that, I don't know, maybe 6 years before we had Roscoe. And it just so happened when I got pregnant with him, Dave got a job in New York on 30 Rock for the first season. So we moved when I was 6 months pregnant. So when we got there, I didn't work. I didn't get a job because no one's going to hire a 6 month pregnant. Why? So I just hung out at home, cried a lot by myself in our empty apartment. Sort of lost my mind, but in a good way. It's fine. It's hormones. We had Roscoe and I was like, oh no, I'm not going back to work. Like, this is what I want to do. Never had a thought of that before he came out of me. It was always, I guess I'll go back. I got to go back. Like, that's what I do. And that I had no interest. This is what I wanted to do. I want to be home with him, not getting a nanny. There's no way. This is my kid. I was that woman, but it also turned when he first was around the first few weeks, I had postpartum and didn't know it. Like a lot of people do. And I was, wouldn't let people hold him, was going to the pediatrician every other day to have him weighed, like worrying I wasn't making enough milk. What's going on? Went through all of that in those first like 5-6 weeks until finally our pediatrician was like, I think you might have some postpartum. She's like, have you thought about that? I'm like, no, I had no idea. No idea. I was just being super anxiety.
How could you? You've never done this before.
We worried about every little thing. And
so great that she called it. Because that's pretty rare. I've not heard of that happening very often.
No, because I didn't have like depression. I had depression while I was pregnant, but I think that was more just being lonely because we were in the city and I knew nobody anymore there because all my friends had left. And he was working like till 4 a.m. every day. And so I cried a lot. And that was when I had that. But afterwards, it was anxiety. So they put me on Lexapro, my gynecologist, OB. And it was like, why didn't I discover this 20 years ago?
Yeah.
It was like a life changer. So everything was like amazing after that. It was the baby stuff I just got a hang of. He was amazing. Again, like I said, he's just very easy. I spent every moment of the day with him, just super happy.
Oh. And you stayed in New York.
We stayed in New York until we were only there for a year and then we wound up coming back. And so we came back when he was, I guess, 9-10 months old. And then we've been here. And
was Dave still in New York?
No, we both came
back.
They were only there for the first season.
Oh, copy that. Yeah. Okay, got it. Copy that. There's my old Hollywood days coming back. Right, because it's hard. Still, Dave has always written. And there have been times, even recently, where he has to travel and be out of town. You guys have separated. He was in New York for something else, or I can't remember. Am I getting that wrong?
He's frequently, he goes some little, not a lot time, but he works when he's here. He works crazy hours, like when he's on a new show or when it's just getting its footing. It's like, sometimes I don't see him for a couple of days because he sleeps at the office. It's crazy. With 3 kids, that was nuts. So
you're single parenting 3 children quite often.
Most of the time. Yeah. But he's very involved. I mean, more so than most.
Yes, I can attest to that because I've seen you guys in motion. And when he's not working, he's very present and like takes the reins and kind of takes over
God.
for you?
Like he wants to, he wants to do all these, he's always like finding fun things on the weekends to do with them. Like he's super into it. So I'm so lucky.
Yeah. So you have Roscoe.
Yeah.
Then you get pregnant again.
Yeah.
Then you have 2 kids. You have a toddler.
They're 23 months apart, the 2 boys.
Wow.
So they were both in diapers. They were both not in school yet.
What was that like?
It was kind of fun because they're so close in age that they were still both babies and I could just do the same thing for both of them.
Yes.
So we would just spend our days like one day we'd go to the zoo. One day we'd go to the play place. We had like a routine where every day we'd go do something. One day I'd go to the museum.
That's so great.
And
you had the energy because were you still on the medication?
Well, I went off when we were trying for Clyde. They weaned me down and off, and then wasn't on it when I was pregnant. It was fine, actually. That was an easy pregnancy that second time. And I think because I was so active with Roscoe that it didn't, I was physically active. And then after Clyde was when I did get it again and went right back on. Like it was a lower dose, but went right back on because I knew what was happening.
Was it the same symptoms?
No, it was a little more like overwhelmed with having the 2. And when you have the second one, you have a lot of guilt of this was my baby and why am I bringing this other child? And oh my God, like you get a lot of that. It's very normal. With the second kid, like you just feel like you feel guilty, for the first one. So yeah, again, there's like that 2-3 month sort of adjustment period. And then you're back in your routine. You're like, okay, I got this. Like, this is the diaper change. This is this. I put him in the sling and we go do Roscoe's little music class. And I know when he needs to be fed. And that stuff is much easier to get back into because you've already done it and you're sort of on the older kid's schedule. So the baby just comes along and everyone's happy.
It's so great.
Yeah.
Wow. That feels to me, because I never did that. So that just feels, that's so foreign to me, but I admire that.
I really believe, because that's not true for everybody. I mean, it's very overwhelming and some people, it's just not, they just can't get it together. And that's totally fine too, but I really believe that my work experience helped me with the kids and able to just be like, yeah, let's just do it again. Let's do it again. Because like when you're in production, it is nonstop and you have to just multitask thousands of things a day and everything's an emergency and everything's like, you know what I mean? So you're used to that sort of level of
you're adapting.
Get it done, get it done, get it done,
Right.
So.
And people coming at you.
Yeah, coming at you. Yeah.
So having 2 of your own children is like.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
I can handle you.
Yeah. Or at least get back into your routine. You're easier to kind of get your head around it.
You know what works.
Right.
So you're moving and grooving. You've got these 2 little boys. And then you have a third.
Yeah, we have a third.
And
that was, go ahead.
How much farther apart?
Trixie is a little over 3 years younger than Clyde.
And just to say, cute, I mean, there's just the cuteness of Trixie. Cute isn't even the right word because like, I just feel like she is cute. Like you would like cut her open and cute would just ooze out of her. She's just the cutest.
Jelly beans and flowers.
Yeah, literally like little unicorns would fly out of her skin. She is so ridiculously adorable.
Everyone has reacted that way to her since day one. And I don't know. I mean, I know she's cute. She's a little girl, but there's something, I guess, about her because everyone gets that.
And her name is Trixie. I know. Like, are you kidding? This little blonde, precious angel. Anyway, so you have Trixie.
Yes. And then after Trixie, it was actually that's when I had my worst postpartum. And I don't know if it was the female hormones of having a girl. I don't know.
Oh, interesting.
That was when I had panic attacks that I'd never had before. I couldn't even hold her, which was the opposite of what the other babies. I was like, nobody else can hold her. But I was like, I can't even look at her. For like a good 2 weeks, I would say it was really bad. And Dave was like, would hold her and I would just, and the boys would be sitting at the table while he was making dinner, while he had her in the Bjorn. And I would just look at him from the couch, like sweating, like a freak, freaking out and going, I don't know how you're doing that right now. Like, I don't even know how you can do that right now. I can't even look at it. Like, it looks so overwhelming to me. And so I went back on the Lexapro.
Yeah.
And honestly, it was like a good 2 weeks. And then it slowly got better. And it was the thing where I had to just do it. He's like, take the baby, feed the baby. And I would just have to be sitting there and nursing her while I'm having a little bit of anxiety and I'm sweating. But I got to do it. I got to do it because he had to go back to work. I mean, he was in the middle of a first season on a very demanding show where he was not home at all. Like, so he took like, I think a week and a half off, but then he had to go back, you know? And that was tough. That was tough because the boys were little. They were still, I don't know if they were both still in a crib. They might have both still in cribs. Or maybe just Clyde was still in a crib and Roscoe was not. But, you know, I still had to put them to bed and get their routine at night. And I had the witching hour. I had the screaming baby. It was a lot. That was hard because there was no one there to hand it off to. It was really hard. So sometimes, and you're so desperate to get back in your routine. You're like, no, this baby's going to sleep. It's 7:00. That's when that's when all the kids go to sleep. But it's like the baby doesn't.
You can't control it. Yeah.
So I would pace her room in the dark with the shushing and the white noise for like 2 hours sometimes. Like, why are you not going to sleep? This is insane. Like, and he would sometimes come home. It was like a 30-40 minute drive from Fox. He would come home just to take the baby and get her to go to sleep. And sometimes it would take him 20 minutes because that was when she probably would have gotten, but I was losing my mind. And then I could get the boys to sleep and then he could go back to work.
Wow.
And he would drive all the way back to work and then come home at like, 3 a.m. Like, or not at all sometimes, sleep in the office. But as long as like I could get the boys to sleep, so then I could deal with her feedings at night and I didn't have 3 of them, it was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. That was the hardest.
Wow. And when did it start to?
It got better like 3-4 months because thankfully, and I think this is one of the big reasons it was easy for us to just say, let's do it again, is they all slept. Yes. Like through the night. 4 months, maybe 5, slept through the night. Or at least slept till with one feeding it. Like they wake up at like 4 a.m. as opposed to every 2 hours. I mean, it got easier quickly with all 3 of them. And they sleep. They've never been like kids that wake up in the night all night long. They just don't do that.
That makes all the difference.
Huge difference. I mean, I have friends with kids our age who their kids still don't sleep. I know that's more the norm. So for us, we got lucky with that. I don't know how.
The sleep thing to me is the biggest piece because I've always been, since I can remember, if I don't get my proper sleep, I am a mess. And so that just affects everyone in the household.
Yeah. And especially when they're newborns, it's like a never ending day. You feel like how many days have gone by? It's only been a day. It feels like a month,
It's so
and
true.
that screws with you, that really messes you up. So it helps a lot just to get sleep and feel like what time it is and what needs to get done. And,
I want to talk about your business.
Okay. Okay, let's do it.
Okay. So Marni makes these exquisite pieces of jewelry, handmade. I should let you talk about it. And I want to know, like, what was the transition that made you start to think, or maybe there was something else that I don't know about, that you wanted to work again, that you wanted to have something for yourself, that you wanted to make money? Like, when did that happen?
So the kids were all in school. I think Trixie was in preschool. The boys were both in, elementary. And so I had more time during the day. And it just so happened to occur that we went to this family camp called Idlewild Family Camp. It's up in Idlewild. We have a friend that's been going for 20 years with her son. It's like one of those places where it's a family. Like the same people go every year. And she's always been like, you guys should come. We're like, fine, we'll go. One year we went. And it's just a week. And it was the best experience. Like the kids loved it. We loved it. It's this open thing where they have like 30 some odd classes in all different areas of art. There's like ceramics and jewelry and silk painting and anything you can imagine. Even like understanding Shakespeare was one of them. It was, it was pretty cool. And it's like every night at 4, there's a happy hour. And then you all have dinner in the cafeteria because it's a school. It's a boarding school during the year.
Oh, cool.
An art school. Yeah.
Great idea.
Then they take the kids do their own section. So after breakfast, all the kids get taken by their counselors for the day. So you can go do whatever you want. And you can go in and out of whatever class you want. You don't have to like sign up for something. You're just like, oh, what's going on over here? I'll hop in, do a silk painting on a scarf thing. I don't know. So the first day, that's what I did. I just hopped around to like 3 different classes. And the last one was jewelry, just because it happened to be right next door to the one I was in. And I've never really been that interested in jewelry or anything. I love fashion. I wound up going to fit them at one point after I stopped casting before we had the kids. So I do love that. I wanted to be like a trend reporter, it never happened.
You did?
Yeah.
Wait, what is a trend reporter?
I'm getting the terminology wrong. A trend, I'm so brain dead. Forecaster.
Oh, okay.
No, they have these services where
I see.
you can, there's a different ways to do it, but there's the one I worked for a little while was specifically color trend forecasting, where you subscribe to get their fall preview, their spring, their winter, and it's like Macy's and designers and even car designers will subscribe to the service, and you just get like a look board and a mood board and like a sampling of colors that are going to be the next color schemes that are going to be out. And I got super into that, but I didn't stay there long. I wound up going back to casting because it was a little. After I graduated and did that, I realized it's a little too corporate. Like it was downtown in an office. I just wasn't used to that after working production. Being around, wasn't so much an office gig. So I was always into fashion. So I went into the jewelry class and I just started messing around. I didn't know anything about it. And she had all these beads. She had a ton of supplies. And then underneath the table were these bags of all of these little seed beads of tons of different colors. And I was like, what are those? And she's like, oh, I didn't put those out because there's like not a lot of people get into those. They're so tiny. I was like, oh, I love the colors. And I started picking up different bags. She's like, do what you want. Like, I'm like, how do you do it? And she showed me, well, you can use it on this wire or you can put it on string and there's different things. So I just started sitting there all day long, just putting little beads on this wire and making these long necklaces. And, they were much different than what I wound up doing when I started the business, but that's the first thing I made. And I was like, it's so into it. It was like I found these little metal bars that she had. And I mixed those together and I just got really into it. And I spent the rest of the week in that class. I would go to jewelry every day and spend the whole day in there.
Wow.
I didn't do anything else.
That's so cool.
Yeah. I just got really into it.
It's like you discovered this piece of yourself.
And I think for the beading thing, it's just very like monotonous and I get into that. Like just doing the same thing over and over again. I get like a little, like it's just so much, you can clear your mind, you can think, and you see the progress as you're getting it along. It's like a really rewarding thing,
Yeah, makes sense.
So then we came home and I had asked her, so where can I get supplies? And she gave me like a crafty sort of website to go to. And I bought a bunch of stuff, just like crimpers and stuff. And I did that at first. And then I would go to Michael's so I could see things in person because it's hard to grasp on a website how big the beads are. And then so I sort of learned by seeing them in person of like, oh, when it says this size, like a 14/0, that's how big it's going to be when I get it in the mail, So you sort of learn, all these things. So then I went and I found like a supplier up in Northern California and I got my wholesale license and I started making them to sell. And the first thing I ever really did, the first thing I did was the little like craft fair or holiday fair at Trixie's preschool. And I had made a bunch of stuff and colors and I was not good at editing, by the way. I just make a ton of different things. And it's like, there's no like collection. It's just me being like, here are 100 of them. Like, I don't know. So I did that. I was so nervous and I was just standing there behind my little table. I took it all so seriously because I tend to do that and like made displays and like just stood there, and I loved it. And I remember thinking to myself, kill me if I'm ever that person who has to stand at a craft fair all day behind my table. Cause I couldn't going to them. You're like, I feel bad for these people. Like half of them are just sitting there looking, go like, please buy my things. And you're like, okay, no, I don't need a set of watercolor, cards. I don't know. I'm sorry. They're beautiful, but I'm not buying them. But now
You're one of those people.
I do it because I don't care. Like I don't get desperate. It's not my like, it's not putting our kids through school. It's my hobby that pays for itself. And I make a little something. I make a little extra. There's always money in the bank in that account. And that makes me feel good, And I do want to grow it, but that's a whole other, I don't know how to do that. So that's the thing where I feel like I need to like apprentice with somebody who, And I have no idea what I'm doing on that end. Like I try the Instagram stuff. It's like a whole other job.
Oh,
to
it
like,
really
it's
is.
crazy.
Oh, yeah.
And
It's
I'm-
a full-time thing.
Yes. And I'm like, what am I like? Made another necklace, #jewelry. Like, what am I supposed to say? I don't know. Like, is that too many hashtags? Not enough. Am I bothering you? I'm sorry. Like, I'm annoyed by myself.
Do I do these stories now? What's a face filter?
I can't do any. I
It's
just
a lot.
can't be bothered. I try, but it's a lot. So then I started with that. But then I was like, I want to learn how to do more like actual making real jewelry. It just so happens that my father-in-law is a craftsman. Dave's father.
I didn't know that.
He is a master craft. Like he knows how to do everything. So he used to work in the garment industry, and he had a sort of like moment in his life where he's like, I hate my job. I hate my life. This is what I want to do. Because he's always been on the side like a craftsman. So he quit his job and he started a shop in his garage, and he was making like saddles and leather goods. And then he got into jewelry. This is over like 30 year span. And he's like amazing. Like he's one of those people that does it all from scratch. Like he tanned his own leather. Like he bought like raw cow hides and blood brain tanned the leather in their backyard when Dave was a kid. Like he makes it from scratch. Sometimes he makes his own tools. He made his own lathe.
Wow.
Like a hand pumped lathe, a foot pumped lathe. He's amazing. So they had always said to me over the years, if you ever want to learn, because that's not Dave's thing and he's the only child. If you ever want to learn, I was like, yeah, no. Like I never had the interest all these years until now I'm doing it. And I'm like, why didn't I take him up on that? Like, so now I went up there a few times and it was great. Like we hung out in the garage. Like he showed me how to do, whenever I have a question of like, how did they make that ring, that little band around it? Like how did they do that? And he figures it out. Like, and he shows me, and he has every tool you could possibly need. So I know what I need, and then I can go get it. So then I set up my shop back here, and
that's incredible.
Yeah.
So you just got a mentor.
Yes, totally. And then I took a bunch of classes. I took soldering classes and metalworking classes, and I took a few things up at Barnstall Art Park, which is a great find. I love that place. Yeah. So yeah, I learn, I watch YouTube videos. I follow tons of other artisans on YouTube and watch them make things all the time. Like it's become like everything else I do in life. I get a little obsessive about, So yeah, that's where it grew from.
You recently not recently, but a couple months ago, you went to the Gem Show.
Yes, in Tucson.
And the Gem Show, for those of you that don't know, is this. Well, you tell what it is.
Okay, so there's this thing, which again, my in-laws would always tell me you should go because they would go over the years. It's called the Tucson Gem Show, and it's, I think, the biggest gem show in the United States. And the big one is, I feel like it was in February. They have them throughout the year, but the big one is in February. And it's literally like maybe like 30 to 50 different shows all around this one area of Tucson.
I really want to go to that next year. Really crazy.
Yeah. So there's tents set up in certain places, but then there's also whole motels. They'll take over the entire motel. So there's a vendor in every room. So they've basically moved into the hotel for a month. It's like a Days Inn or whatever.
And do these vendors come from all over
the world? So there's also like an entire African village where it's just all people from Africa with beads and mud cloths, like piles of them, and some furniture, those little like hand carved wooden benches and totem poles, and amazing. Like, but the thing is there's so much of all of this stuff that you walk in and you're like, oh my God. Like
overwhelming.
Yeah. Like the first thing I went into, I just was like, as far as the eye can see, like, oh, I like this piece of turquoise. Oh, wait. It goes on for like a mile and all you see is turquoise. It's crazy. Like it was crazy, the amount of stuff.
How did you narrow down what you brought home with you?
So before I went, I did not a lot, but a little bit of research. And I know for me, what I do, I know what I need. So I didn't want to like go beyond that this time. I can always go back when I start, like a lot of it is people selling rough stone that you cut for lapidary artists who cut their own stones and have that equipment, which I've done at my father-in-law's house because he does that. But I would rather just buy my cabochons, which are the things you see in rings, and stones and whatever and beads. So like I had to sort of edit my own wants and needs and say, this is what I want to look for. I also want to look for some tools if there's some tool vendors. And I know I need some beads, and my bead person was going to be there. So I knew I was going to visit her. And I want to look for, these kind of stones, these sort of faceted ones. Like I knew what I wanted. So the first day I drove, which was amazing because it's like 7 hours straight and I was by myself.
Did you listen to podcasts?
I listened to podcasts. I listened to book on tape, but I listened to some podcasts and KCRW. I got the apps. So I just listened to that most of the way. It was nice to just feel like you're not far from home. And yeah, so I did that. And the first day I walked around, and I didn't really buy much because I just was trying to get not overwhelmed with, okay, I don't want to walk past this because what if I don't see it again? Like that you don't do there because you will see it again. Like there's nothing you won't see 1,000 times over. You just kind of, the best thing to do, my in-laws told me this, just walk around the first day and sort of see what's out there, and then you'll get and you sort of get there's so much of it you sort of don't, you're like, like I thought I'd buy, some crystals for the house, but there's like 1,000 billion crystals. Like, I can't even look at these anymore. Like, I don't need a crystal. Yeah. No, I don't want any crystals.
Yeah.
So the first day I did that. Second day I got more of like, okay, I got to sort of break myself in. I'll buy something. And I bought like an expensive piece of turquoise. Like one little thing of turquoise was so like for a little, I still haven't used it in anything. I'm afraid. One little piece of turquoise, one stone was like crazy expensive. I'm like, okay, I'm going to buy it. So
what's crazy expensive?
It was like $50 just for the little stone.
Wow.
Which is a lot for what I do. It's not like I'm a, fancy, diamonds and whatever, maybe I hope one day that would be me. But right now I know what my limits are, So, and I don't want to make things that are outpriced for what I do. I want to be able to sell it and feel good about the price and not feel like I'm gouging or it's too much, because it's just me. I'm not like Tiffany's, So yeah, I won't buy things that are very expensive for that reason as well, So yeah, but I did do that just because I felt like that's what you do when you go to Tucson. You buy turquoise, and it's all that expensive. Even though there's like a ton of stuff, you think, oh, it's going to be cheap because there's literally thousands of it, but no, they're all.
And there's
expensive.
Thousands of people there.
Yeah.
So it's just swarms of people around these.
Yeah, but it's not that crowded because there's so many places. So you're not like in crowds. Like there's so many shows that people are spread out throughout town all day long. So yeah. So, and then, I got into like, I found some good vendors who are like, these are exact things I need to buy. And I spent like 2 hours at this one guy's setup, and he had like a giant area with so many cool. That's the ones that you bought, the amethyst, like those cool sort of free-formed, faceted. I loved those. I bought a ton from him. Like I spent most of my money at that guy's stall. It wasn't even a stall. It was like half the floor, but it was great. Like I spent like 2 hours and bought the nicest stones from that.
And do you I'm just starting to learn about crystals and is it gemstones? Is that
gemstones,
right?
Yeah.
Gemstones,
semi-precious.
Okay, semi-precious. Yeah. And how I have another friend who knows more about it, but that they all hold this meaning. And so, and you talk about it a little bit with your jewelry.
I do a little because it's hard to remember all of the information, but I did get into that. Like I really like, there's a stone called Prainite. I have a necklace. I'm not wearing it, of course, that I really like. And it's like this green sort of almost see-through and it has these like, black sort of stripes on it, and it's a very pretty stone. Did you buy a Prainite ring? I feel like you might have.
I bought an amethyst and a sapphire.
And a sapphire, right? It's really pretty. So I got into that. I bought a Prainite beads, Prainite, like little bars for necklaces, and tons of stone. That's more like for protection and healing and calmness. And I bought a few. I have those gemstone books, that have all the meanings and stuff. And I would put it on my website whenever I'd make something because I do love that. But it's hard to keep all that straight. So like even when I'm doing craft for people who are, everyone's into that right now. And they know, like they all know. And I'll have somebody ask me, so what does this mean? And I'm like, I can look it up. Like I'm like so unprepared. Like I should know this. I don't know. I have to look it up.
Oh, I would have to look it up too. There's so many stones, and and I find too, like some of the meanings are overlapping.
Yeah, they're very overlapping. So
I don't know. Yeah, if someone asked me that, I'd be like, oh, that's a good stone for you.
Yeah, exactly.
That'll help you with a lot of things. Yeah. You'll feel better. You should buy it.
That's exactly what you should just do.
Because it's true.
Yeah, it is. They all are good.
They're all helpful.
They'll all help you. It's true.
So now, okay, so you have, oh my gosh, the time has just flown.
Oh, it's
right
because I'm blabbing on. Like,
well, that's what you're supposed to do.
So.
We will include Marni's website, but let's just say it here. So it's Marni, it's Wilkens
Wilkens Studio, WILKENSSTUDIO.com.
That was so milfy the way you just did that. Oh my God. That was really sexy.
I can say it again. Follow me on Instagram.
Yeah. What's your Instagram handle?
It's at Wilkens_studio.
Yes. Okay, cool. And I will say also, Marni posted a picture on Instagram right after the Gem Show, after you came back from that, and you had made this one that was rose quartz. Mm-hmm. And it was one of my best friend's birthday. And I couldn't text you fast. I couldn't get off the Instagram app fast enough and text you. I was like, that's mine. I
loved it. It made me feel so good.
It's such a beautiful ring. And she wears it. She got married 2 years ago, and she opened it up and she said, and they're trying to have a baby. And she said, how did you know I wanted one for my other hand? And it's rose quartz and it has this meaning. And did you know? And I was like, yeah.
It's really good.
It's a good stone for you.
Yeah, it's a really good stone for you.
But and then I bought the same thing happened. You posted one that was amethyst, I think. And I texted you, I'm like, bring it to school right now. I'll bring the cash. Bring the stone.
I am like the jewelry dealer at school.
Are.
Like it's really cool. Like because I don't know what I'm doing, people.
But it doesn't look like that.
No, I know. But like most of us, we don't know what we're doing.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And thank God it doesn't look like that, or we'd all be
exposed.
Yeah. But yeah, like it's always surprising to me when people like my things because it's just me making it. Like
but I was just gonna say it's because it's you making it.
That's very nice.
You are that very kind, beautiful woman with the Pantene hair, whether you say it or not. You are, and that energy comes through in the jewelry.
That's very nice.
And so it's aesthetically beautiful. The pieces and your artwork is beautiful, but it's you, and it's like getting a little piece of Marni that we get to carry around and wear.
I like that.
So, okay, I'm going to ask you.
Is this the crazy question time?
Sort of crazy questions, but first I'm going to ask you 3 normal questions that I ask every guest.
Okay.
And then we'll go into the lightning round.
Okay.
Fun part. So the first question is, what do you think about when you hear the word MILF?
Oh, well, initially when you had texted me about the MILF and I was like, me? Like, are you sure? Like, okay, if you think I'm a MILF. And then I read the thing and it was mothers I love to follow or I'd like to follow. And I was like, that's cool. And I was super excited. I was like, that's a great idea. You should do that.
You are a MILF in the traditional sense as well.
Know. Well, maybe.
And I'm
if
going
you're
to
into
disclose,
like Italian Jews from Jersey
hysterical.
who are, not too tall, and then I guess I'm a
and
MILF.
really hot.
Okay, whatever.
And I had found you guys for some reason. I had you and Dave on a text chain. I think because when we kept Clyde overnight or something.
Yeah.
And I typed it in, and it typed Dave's in too. And I said, Marni, will you be a guest on my show? And Dave was the first one to respond. He was like, oh, Marni's the milfiest MILF I know. And I was so sweet. It was such a sweet, supportive response, and funny, of course, because he's hysterical. What is something you've changed your mind about recently?
Keep going back and forth. But this is not a surprise to anybody that have another kid.
Mm.
But we're old. That's the only... And tuition.
Oh, tuition. My God, tuition.
It's a killer.
It's a killer.
Like we go through this all the time.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, Dave is like, no, obviously if we had stairs in our house, you'd be going down them if he's joking. Right. But I'm always absolutely like, why not? Our kids are great. And everyone around us is always like, have another kid. Why are you not having another kid? Because we have great kids and we're happy with that. Like we're super happy having kids. Not a lot of people are. And I get that. It's a lot. But we're so super happy. But I'm older. So I don't know if it'll happen. So I go back and forth. And then, when they're a pain in the ass, that's when I change my mind.
You're like, we're good with 3.
Yeah, we're good with 3. I like
calling
sleeping.
The urologist, you're getting a vasectomy on Tuesday.
Right.
Third question. How do you define success?
Well, it's not monetarily ever. It's more if you have found something that you like doing and you have the courage to do it. You don't even have to be good at it. You don't even have to be like great at it. Just if you're happy doing it and you found a way to make that work and live a functional life and pay your bills, that's success. For sure.
I like that. Okay. Lightning round. It's brief.
Okay. Beach
or desert?
Desert.
Netflix binge or fresh novel?
That's tough because I'm very into I don't really read novels though. I read nonfiction.
Oh, okay.
So
then
Netflix.
We'll change it for you.
I'll say, okay, nonfiction. I'm reading things beyond my capabilities, but I do that. I'm reading them.
Go to the movies or go to a play?
A play.
Daytime sex or nighttime sex?
Daytime.
Texting or talking?
That's tough. Maybe talking.
Cat person or dog person?
Both. So can I say both?
Yes.
Okay.
You can say whatever you want, whatever comes to mind. Massage or yoga?
Yoga.
Shower or bathtub?
Probably shower.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how good are you at ping pong?
Oh, probably a 5.
Okay.
Is there beer involved? So I'm like an 8.
For you, yes.
I'd be an 8.
Yeah.
I would think I was an 8.
We've got beer.
Drunk.
We can get whatever you want. We got shots.
Yeah.
The
then
whole
I'm
thing.
Totally an 8. When
If you could push a button and have perfect skin for the rest of your life, but it would also give you incurable halitosis for the rest of your life, would you push it?
No. No. I would spend a lot of time buying beauty supplies and creams and things.
Superpower choice. Invisibility or ability to fly?
Fly.
Would you rather have a penis where your tailbone is or a third eye?
Oh.
And a literal
bizarre.
third eye. I know.
What the hell? How big is my penis?
It's huge.
Oh.
And functional, by
functional.
the way. Yeah.
I'd say penis.
Yep. Got it. What? Now, I already know the answer to this question,
Okay.
so I'm so excited to hear it again. What was the name of your first pet?
Oh. I forgot you knew that. Pussy.
And what was the name of the street you grew up on?
Fenimore.
Oh
was
my
it
God.
Fenimore?
Was it? I think it
Pussy
was.
Fenimore?
I mean, there's nothing.
That was my, what was that? Your
porn
stripper name or porn name?
Either one.
And the
Take your
best
pick.
was my grandmother, my like really spicy chain smoking grandmother would yell, Pussy! throughout the neighborhood because it was an outdoor cat. Pussy! It was the best.
So much. It makes me so happy. Pussy Fenimore, ladies
Pussy
and gentlemen.
Fenimore.
Thank you so
Signing
much,
off.
Marni. Thank you for being on the show.
I should do an Instagram.
I mean,
just Pussy Fenimore.
For sure. For sure. With like a talking cat or something.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. This was not as scary as I thought it was going to be.
See, I knew you'd be a natural.
Yeah.
I knew it. All right. Thanks, doll. Thanks so much for listening, guys, to my interview with Marni. I hope you enjoyed it. Next week on the show, I have a Broadway actress, Blair Goldberg, currently in Kinky Boots on Broadway. Please head on over to milfpodcast.com and check us out. You can get all the links there to all our stuff and subscribe and hit us up with your email so we can keep you apprised of all things MILFy. Thanks so much for listening.